we're back in another game, and this is another in-house, another draft, and another game where I'm joined by fellow admin Remorse. How you doing?
I'm doing good, Zeron. How are you?
Oh, well, I'm excited for some exciting Reddit Dota 2 League action.
Maybe as exciting as last game.
Absolutely. Kind of a anticlimactic last game, if you didn't see it. Pretty quick and to the point. This game, we're not going to be able to see any exciting IO action. It banned out Lifestealer as well. We saw Lifestealer in the last game. A different set of people, though. So, just these guys don't like Lifestealer. This Chib guy, I don't know about him.
Yeah, he's pretty noob, I think is the word that the kids like to use these days.
The kids on the street with their rap music.
The hippity-hoppity.
And bibbity-bobbity-boo. First pick coming up.
I'm thinking of Barra. I think he's going to go Spirit Breaker.
Oh, yeah. I want to see the Huskar. Is he even in Captain's Mode anymore? They might have removed him.
I don't think he is since of the change to his Bloodlust.
Yeah, I know they removed Medusa. Speaking of blood, we could see a Bloodseeker. Still waiting to see if he starts popping up more and more.
Yeah, through the going through magic immunity on the Rupture really helps him.
Yeah, though it makes the clutch rages as Lifestealer against Bloodseeker less impactful.
First pick of Keeper the Light coming out of Chib. Not very impressive.
I was mentioning this in the last game, where Keeper the Light always seems to either be a first pick or never picked.
Right.
He doesn't get banned at like 3 or 4 usually. He doesn't seem to be picked as a later support. Like, you either get Keeper of the Light or he just is ignored completely.
Which seems really weird to me because he's not like a hero you can build your team around, but he could be a hero that could fit into certain teams to, give you AoE when you don't have it or something.
Phantom Lancer selected, perhaps something as a block pick, not wanting the Keeper of the Light PL combo. I do know for a fact the captain, this game being played by, he has the moniker Bad Player Mrs. Watson. But that's Colin for Black Up. I know he loves his Phantom Lancer anyway, so I'm sure he's glad to pick that up regardless. Shadow Demon also the additional selection, so another kind of block pick. Shadow Demon kind of a nice counter support, being able to build up his own PL army, waiting on Radiant for their next choice. Any other good combos with Keeper of the Light you want to see?
I don't really know of like any lane combo of they never do it, but any strength hero with a high mana cost, powerful early game nuke, like Sven, for example, or even an Earthshaker, just becomes incredible when comboed with him.
Yeah, Earthshaker is one that we don't get to see as much because of that mana cost. Plus, it always it's harder to feel like he's one of those heroes where if you're playing him, if you screw up, everybody knows.
Right. But when you have the perfect fissure, it's game breaking.
Yeah, absolutely. Very strong if positioned correctly, and incredibly frustrating if you're on the wrong end of it. And then Luna picked up. So we're getting straight into the carry choices. Now Queen of Pain banned by the Dire. One of my favorite games that I've played in RD2L. Amazingly ended up being a loss, unfortunately. But we were matched up against Deleted, and for those who don't know, the perhaps most famous player in our Season 1, or infamous if you would be this season's Kubera. We referred to him as Chinese guy. He tends to be their mid. And we just planned, we wanted to shut him down mid. That was all. Right. That was our only goal that game. So what we did was we ran Keeper of the Light Zeus mid as a dual lane.
Beautiful.
And that ended up working well. Unfortunately, we didn't end up closing out the game because our team was the EG of our league. We threw all day and night, but we accomplished our goal at least. We've reached our additional bans. Leshrac and Lena, the typical Shadow Demon combos. Nothing too exciting there being banned. Curiously, Dire bans out Darkseer, but then picks Jakiro. So no Ice Path Vacuum combo this game.
Yeah. I guess they plan on using the Shadow Demon to set up perfect ice paths for...
Yeah, that... If it wasn't already obvious by the Phantom Lancer pick, this is going to be a very passive early game for the Dire. No real kill potential when your supports are Shadow Demon, Jakiro. Ice Path does nothing at level 1, 25 damage. Shadow Demon, of course. Disruption is nice, but not really going to kill anyone either.
No damage, yeah.
Clockwork will be their off-lane choice, though. So this is sort of a general solid lineup that you're not going to have an easy time killing in the early game.
Very defensive, for sure.
Yeah, and kind of defensive on the Radiant side as well. Rubik, Keeper of the Light, not really going to be your typical tri-lane either, even though Luna can kind of do an aggressive tri-lane, despite her low strength, just because of her her passing and Lunar Blessing. Waiting on the next pick, reserve time. Well, the Radiant's looking to get their 4th pick. How do you think Dire might be looking to round out their own lineup? They're looking at a mid, most likely.
Well, right now the Radiant team is pretty squishy, and it kind of depends really on this exact pick. If they pick up their offlaner here, then it's a tough decision for the Dire. But if they pick up the mid, you can just obviously counter it. And they go with the, I assume, offlane / jungle Furion.
Yeah, though he could also be the mid. I think that's a little underused as mid Prophet. Because it's like, there's always this very difficult decision with Prophet is, well, do we bother putting him in off lane or do we just abandon? If we abandon, then we're giving him free farm, and then it's like, oh no, Phantom Lancer free farm. It's like, yeah, but if we put him off lane, he might not get anything at all.
Right.
It becomes this uncomfortable situation. Waiting on last bands, the Storm Spirit banned by Dire. Do you think that hints at all at their mid pick?
Not really. Storm's not really the counter to anyone early game mid, at least.
Yeah. Also kind
of
curious.
What also seems weird is it feels like they could have handled the Storm Spirit really easily with their lineup, just disrupt him when he jumps in or in cogs and stuff.
Yeah, also seems a little weird now thinking about it is that Storm Spirit acts as kind of a counter to Nature's Prophet, and they can leap from out of range and catch you if you're trying to split push.
Right.
But that's not the direction they want to go. And then Puck banned. Pudge is
Pudge.
So that's
nice.
So maybe that's why they, I don't know, I guess still not that tough. I would have probably
Right.
Puck would have been a better ban for Dire, I think, if they wanted to go Pudge.
Exactly, yeah.
But amazingly, through all the picks and bans, Magnus is still in the pool. So if they wanted to go that route, it is available.
Yeah. Magnus isn't really that's a good pick right there, actually. The only issue with this is their team's going to end up very squishy with only one real disable.
Yeah, and only in the telekinesis on the Rubik. So that's the only lockdown they have. And then for immobility, they kind of have Sprout, and then for disable, they have a silence and slow on the.
And of course, there's mini stuns on the Lucent Beam, and the mana leak, if he gets it early, could be pretty good.
Yep, but once again, start off with introducing our Dire side. Looks like Mrs. Watson will be headed out on the Pudge. Looking fine, Mrs. Watson. You lost weight. Up top, we've got Hank Hill on the Jakiro. He should be joined up by Kirkiki on the Shadow Demon, and then Sephiroth Ken playing the Phantom Lancer.
No surprise. We have Shao Kahn going mid on his Skywrath for the Dire. The Tri-Lang heading bottom with the Chib, our fearless captain and admin, on the Keeper of the Light.
30 seconds.
Luna's being played by Dyslexic Cat, which is fitting because she's riding one. It's unclear where the Furion may be going at this point. He's still kind of sitting in base, and Rubric may be actually heading up top. No, they're just exchanging wards. So it looks like Rubric's going back bottom, played by Hell JH, and Bad Fetus looks to be actually heading top to D-ward with those sentries, probably.
The battle begins.
Poor Rio Veins. You cut him off out of the introduction on the Dire. He's on clockwork, headed out to the off lane.
Go on, Creeps.
But,
Hit those
I like players with fun names. I'm particularly enjoying Kiriki in this one on the Shadow
It's
Demon.
fun to say, yeah.
Oh yeah. Of course, names like Helge is kind of awkward,
Right.
making our lives difficult. Yeah, lane's looking as we described. I think the big surprise on the players is that Sephiroth can pick it up, the Phantom Lancer. As I said, I know Mrs. Watson loves her Phantom Lancer, so giving it up this time, going to play the Pudge. So that's probably the lane to watch in the early game. Probably the lane that everybody wants to watch. Do you
Yeah,
play much
Furion's
Pudge?
actually- I play much of everything.
Ah. Okay, so how do you think the Pudge should approach this up against a Skywrath? Kind of tough.
Yeah, it's actually not good to really go rot against Skywrath. If the Skywrath's smart, and this one looks to be, he's already gotten a silence. So the second he sees him pop his rot, you just throw the silence on him before he can shut it back off. And you're forcing him to rot.
Oh, up top though,
For 3
disruption
seconds.
on the Nature's Prophet. They're trying to make
Trying to
it
TP
kill
out.
potential. TP's out just
and he
in
makes it.
time. So there's the slight lack of damage rearing its ugly head. Certainly wasn't going to be able to run out of there, but able to TP out. Good reaction time.
And I was questioning the Furion standing so deep in there, but it allowed him to get the extra level to get the TP and ended up saving his life.
Yeah, he's lacking the vision over behind the trees, so standing anywhere past the river, really, you can just get disrupted and there's a follow-up. But as we mentioned, not a whole lot of damage coming from Shadow Demon plus Jakiro early on. So fortunately, not enough to burst him down. Pudge picks up himself a double damage rune, level 2 on that hook. No bottle as of yet though, and they end up getting the first blood down bottom. Damn it, I missed another one as I'm looking at the double damage on Pudge. And we have a disconnect there. Did you catch Clock down bottom?
I didn't see what happened. He has his cogs leveled, and they're not on cooldown. But he did respawn already, so... He may have used them, just... One of the issues is Rubric can actually lift him out of the cogs and throw him back on the wrong side.
Yeah,
So
always
his
the
cogs
problem.
can almost block himself.
Yeah, Illuminate looks like that's on cooldown, must have hit. Along with Lucent Beam, and then... Yeah, Rubik was level 2, so he had Fade Bolt as well. So between all that, up too far, bursted down. But yeah, I hadn't actually thought about when you described the matchup in mid. Silence in mid rot then prevents him from turning it off.
Yeah, and it also
That's-
increases the damage he's taking from the rot.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, you throw out your 70 magic, mana, OP 80 damage nuke that's getting buffed even more. Suddenly, Pudge is not going to rot you ever again.
Yeah, relying very much on the hook and dismember
Right?
really get anything done. So until he's level 6, that's going to be tough. Looks like we have a
And
reconnect, so should be starting
another-
anytime soon.
Another good nuance about it is the concussive shot. You don't actually have to face the target to cast it. So some heroes, like a Queen of Pain, for example, if she wants to slow the Pudge when being rotted by him, she has to turn around, cast the dagger, and then turn back around to walk away. And usually in that time, the Pudge is still walking to you and, getting more rot and better positioning. Whereas with the Skywrath, he can just keep running away the whole time while still casting a slow on Pudge.
Yeah, and with the additional slow, very nice to help also dodge hooks the extra distance. So yeah, sounds like a tough matchup, but that doesn't necessarily tell the whole story. We'll have to end up seeing how it plays
Yeah,
out.
one good hook from Pudge could just be the end of a Skywrath.
Yeah, not the tankiest hero, nor does he really have any built-in escapes. He's not going to burst his way out. Kind of has to disable to escape.
Mm-hmm.
Phantom Lancer, again going Quelling Blade. No additional item for tanking, not even a Ring of Protection, so taking a lot of damage from the creeps under tower. Clockwork
Yeah,
gonna rejoin in lane.
Quelling Blade on the Phantom Lancer is one of those. He has really high base damage already, so it's not really needed.
Yeah, it's one of the ones where you think of yourself as a late game carry and then just go for it. I know I can't remember if it's in the recommended items or not. I know it is on Faceless Void, so we end up seeing a lot of Quelling Blade on Faceless Void. I'm not sure if it is on Phantom Lancer or not. Oh, Hook ends up getting a creep. They're not quite there.
Yeah, both hooks I've seen, he's just hit a creep every time. But he does have his bottle up now, so...
Yep, that'll make
Look to
things
rush
a bit
it.
easier.
They need to upgrade the courier for him, because chances are he's probably going to have to bottle crow.
Yeah, both sides with a bit of a late courier upgrade. But once again, we're looking at very passive lanes, another abandoned off lane on the Radiant side, as Prophet's decided, enough of this, I'm going to jungle. Gonna keep an eye on whether or not he ends up going Midas. I've been seeing in pro games, no matter what, that Prophet's going Midas. Doesn't care if it's 12 minutes in, he's getting his Midas. Alright, so we have Phantom Lancer up against Luna. What do you think of that matchup? Because Luna not necessarily the worst. She has the built-in glaive, so how does this work out, do you think?
Well, it basically depends on their item choices, and then two, who's getting those items first. So throughout the game, you're going to see fights where, let's say, Luna gets a good damage item before the PL gets a good tank item, and that fight will go Luna's way. But if the PL gets the tank item before Luna gets the damage item, all of a sudden, Luna's the one feeding.
Yeah, both in some ways aren't the tankiest heroes. Phantom Lancer ends up building for it more, though, because of the illusions. But yeah, Luna very low base health, so if she's not dishing it out, she can't really take it so much.
Mm-hmm. And because of the shorter range of her actual attack, she's going to have to get fairly close to the PL to start doing damage.
Yeah, early on, the Phantom Lancer out in front in the last hits, 24 with 5 denies. Luna at 16 for 3, but in that tri-lane, she does have an assist on that first blood.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Green Dude's top thing is
Now, it looks like they're pushing out this top tower. Can't tell if they're committing to it or they're just attacking it because it pushed up. Pudge has invis towards mid, though. Hook could be coming. He's setting up. No creeps in the way. He's skulking. Going in. There it is. He just walks up to him. Rots. And they're trading a lot. Hook. Rot going to be able to fish him off. Right click does, and he does get the kill out of that.
I don't think the Skywrath actually cast all his spells there. And had he dropped the ult, he might have actually won the fight.
That was... he just hooked a creep. I guess because he was using a bottle charge anyway. Oh, he's saying he didn't have the mana to ulti. I didn't see the silence come out, though.
Yeah.
And the hook actually came after, so if he got the initial silence, he might have been able to prevent that, at least for a period of time.
Right.
But ultimately, Mrs. Watson starting it off fine in this lane. That gets him to level 6, now level 7, in fact. And gets the first kill, which he kind of needed to have any chance in competing in this lane. That's how Pudge works, I guess.
Now he's got his boots, which will help him out a lot.
Top tower is under attack.
No wards for make their team anymore. Which is extra, like a problem for the Radiant, because there's a Pudge on the other team.
Yes, of all heroes, one of the worst ones to go up against with no
We're
vision.
seeing the effects of that right now.
Yep, moving on down.
poor Coddle here at level 3. It's running right into him.
Yeah, and there's a dismember, and hook
A
misses.
failed hook.
Bit late, and the pull back. He's actually stuck under rod as well, and just going to back off. Could end up
Jakiro
leading to a kill, but they've trapped in on the cogs, and able to get Luna, of all targets. Gets caught in the cogs and brought down. So it works out in the end.
Jakiro actually, I think, TP'd in there, which was really good timing by him.
Yeah, Jakiro was actually up at the tier 1 as Pudge was moving in. So he had joined up. Looks like they had planned to have 3 there to go up against the 3 in the defensive tri-lane and end up working out. Did you see the movement on Luna? I only saw her get trapped in the cogs.
She just went in aggressively and ended up getting trapped out, and her supports kind of just left her to die.
Unfortunately there, since the fight was in the jungle, Luna was at halfway to level 6. If she got to level 6, Eclipse would have been there and could have been a very different story, but too early for that, and that ends up getting her killed. I think the Prophet's back up top, gets Spirit Lance and taking a decent amount of damage. Actually just now has enough mana for TP away. Still chasing, go try and TP away. I don't think it's going to be enough, and he dies. Actually Pudge with the hook to ensure it.
Yeah, the PL has his Tranquil Boots up. So Furion came in and actually did a good amount of harass damage. It got him below like 200 health. But the Tranquil's back up and just turned it back around.
Tranquil's not quite as good as they once were. We saw some nerf on the duration, but still the boot of choice on PL. Pudge again lurking, and once again we have a pause. See, now this feels like Dota.
Right.
See, I don't mind. I don't mind the pauses as a caster because I know that it's worse now as a player because the screens are now locked. The anti-puppy pause measure. No strategic pauses anymore. Here's the reconnect.
Looks like our admin Chib's probably too busy working on admin things. Crashing out of Dota.
I was impressed. The other day we had a disconnect out of Mustache because his entire hard drive died. So he actually replaced the hard drive with a backup and got back into the game. It took a while, but for recoveries, got to give props as opposed to the guy who just complains that his internet is unstable. Right. Come on, man, pick it up.
We know Mustache has to have his Dota. That's a true addict.
Oh yeah. Skywrath drops the ult on PL, but it's not enough, and now he's getting turned around, taking a lot of damage. May actually go down. There it is. Shadow Demon finishes him off. Not a kill they needed to give away.
It was impressive how much Skywrath's own images were doing to him damage-wise.
Yeah, early on, he's the highest level on the board at 8. So Families are able to catch up with that kill up top. So far, Luna with treads and a Basilius, actually a kill there. Once again, Chib walking into the Pudge. Gets brought down, and once again, Luna stuck in the cogs, trying to get off the Eclipse, but repeatedly stopped by the battery assault. The TP in from Nature's Prophet trying to finish off the Clockwork, but he uses the Tango and gets away at 30 HP.
Boom, there it goes. Green Dude's top thing is about to get...
Yeah, the Radiant's choice of ward placement's actually not the best. Yeah, you can't see the
thrown out
rotation.
in mid. Jakiro gets very low, and the Arcane Bolt finishes him off.
It doesn't, the vision they get doesn't show him any rotation from the actual, like, mid or river.
Yeah, early on the positioning on the ward over here is very nice. It's an offlaner for the vision all through the jungle, but as the game goes on, especially with the Pudge on the field, not having that area I believe you're referring to,
exactly,
is kind of much rougher because it's kind of too late once he walks into the jungle area, depending on the angle. And where you are, walks right into Rubik. Quick reaction, lifts him up.
On the high ground.
Yep, not able to, but now he's trying to run, juke through the trees. There's the rot, dismember, and and the sprout traps him in. Not that it mattered. Trying to bottle up. Arcane Bolt, Disruption, and Ice Path at the same time. A bit of miscommunication there. Illuminate goes over top. But Skywrath brought down. The Clockwork Hook goes out, but does not hit.
Clockwork actually managed to solo the Luna below that fight.
Oh wow, I missed that entirely as I was watching
here, below the camp.
Is under attack. We're detecting high levels of sarcasity, Captain.
Jib hiding in the trees. As a good creepy keeper of the light should. But so before all that, I was taking a look at the Luna's items. Went Tread Basilius Ring. Normally, if you're going treads, we're going to see an early Helm of the Dominator. We'll see if that is the case in this game, as opposed to the Joe build with a Tranquil, Ocula Drum, Wand, very mid-game centric.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so Dire's looking good in this game. How do they continue to make use of this advantage? As we see an invis on Pudge. Oh, Chib. I can't get anywhere.
Bad dudes, middle tower.
Poor guy's still level 4.
He's walking around his own jungle areas and keeps walking into
Dyer's top
dismember.
tower is under attack.
But aside from walking right up to Chib and killing him repeatedly, how does Dire make use of the advantage that they build up in early game?
As long as the Dire can keep dewarding as much as possible, just denying vision. It doesn't really matter what they do as long as Pudge is not visible. Like the situation they're in right now, nobody knows where Pudge is, so everybody has to be fairly cautious. You see the mids backing off because they don't know for sure where Pudge is.
Yeah, Clockwork tried to hook in, hit a creep, got close, but wasn't able to go on Chib, who was up across the river. So getting away from the Clockwork in this case. There was a kill while we were talking down bottom. Luna getting picked off by the Phantom Lancer. Just got the very tail end of that as she died. 11-3 if we
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
look at the gold graph. That's looking at about 5,000 gold, 4,000 experience they're closing in on right now.
Mm-hmm.
Hook thrown out. Hits Chib again. Not enjoying the Pudge.
Green dude's top thing.
Oh, Purge thrown out on the Nature's Prophet. Disruptor trying to get to finish him off. Down he goes. The Shadow Demon actually soloing the Nature's Prophet. That is not what you want to be happening.
Meanwhile, PL's putting pressure on their tier 2 top.
Yep, the old split push. He's at level 10. 2 points in Juxtapose, 2 in Doppelwalk. Another disconnect. No pause as of yet. There it is. And Diffusal just about done on the PL. I always forget the exact cost of the recipe on the Diffusal. 1,000? 850?
850, yeah, I think.
850. Yeah, so 315 off of that. It's one wave and he'll have enough. Pudge already has himself a Hood of Defiance done.
It looks like I was right, and Chip was actually alt-tabbing up, probably to do admin things.
Well, I mean, he already knows what's going to happen in the next 5 seconds. He's going to die to Pudge, so why does it even to watch? He's got his boots up, which is nice to at least have that. If we compare the supports, it's basically brown boots and a branch or two on the supports on Radiant, on Dire. We've got Arcanes and a Wand on Shadow Demon, and then Ground boots on Jakiro, so he's kind of looking like the Radiant supports, but slightly ahead with the Shadow Demon, especially with that solo kill on the Prophet, looking pretty.
Green Dude's top thing is about to get knocked over. Radiant's top tower is
King's
under
going
attack.
out on Pudge. Looks like they spotted him this time. But Skyrath walks right into it. There's the silence. Here comes the ult. Yep, and they're able to bring him down this time.
Suicide.
Oh, actually gets the... How did he do that?
Standing in Skyrath's ult, manages to get the suicide.
Oh, man. Nothing going right for the Radiant. I don't know. Can we even call that the RNG gods? I'm not sure what that is. Just...
Well, the problem was they had Chip too close to the fight. So he just ruined it for everybody.
Tower is under attack.
Yeah, if I'm not going to die, then
Radiant's
we're not
top
getting a kill,
tower is
that's
under
for
attack.
sure. Double damage actually picked up by
Bad dudes,
Phantom
middle
Lancer.
tower. Everyone, go,
Probably
go.
not going to make a whole lot of use out of that. No fights going on as he rotates in toward mid.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Can we... Dire structures are fortified. Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
Furion getting picked off bottom by Pudge. PL using the double damage to push the mid tower.
Radiant's middle
Tower just
is
about
under attack.
down.
Hey, you guys doing some great work. Forget about it.
Chib's about to get hooked and die.
And down
You
goes the
good guys.
tower.
Middle tower got owned. What you gonna do? Get mad or get even? Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Chib manages to live. And then he doesn't.
Yep, brought down by the Phantom Lancer. 15-4 right now. And
The Radiant actually managed to win the ward D-ward battle. But the Dire is just powerful enough that they can muscle through.
yeah, oftentimes if you're looking at a situation like this where the early game's going really rough, I like to look at the state of the carries because sometimes you just have, both carries pretty even and then it's all the supports getting picked off or the mid going wrong. But in this case, Luna nowhere up the net worth board, actually behind the Shadow Demon and Clockwork in net worth.
Something bad is happening.
So it's a long way to go to turn this one around.
As long as they act fast, well, I guess he's picked up drums, so he's gotten a little more tanky and already has 1900 gold. But he's still fairly squishy.
Dire's middle tower is
And they have very good burst damage coming out of their team.
Actually, it looks like he's going in for a Yasha next. Pudge lurking. Hits on the Rubik. Brings him down with Dismember. And that's beyond godlike on the Pudge. 10-1 with the 1 being a suicide.
We see the Dire basically just camping to land one of their 2 hook spells.
That Clockwork has not moved in quite a while. Threw out the 1 rocket to the side lane. That's dedication. Oh, another hook. This time hits on the Nature's Prophet. No mana for Dismember. Doesn't need it.
Nature's Prophet did pick up the Midas,
Yeah,
but
they've
doesn't
had
look
that
to be
for a
getting
bit.
much out of it.
They've not given them room at all. And now Dire's starting to group up. Question is Riovani's... Oh, Phantom Lancer actually kills Skyrath. Doesn't need the hook. But it
Interestingly, had Scareth just decided to man fight there, you would have actually probably killed the PL under the tower with his combo.
tower is under attack. Hey,
But instead he just walked away, or attempted to walk away.
Yeah, no getting away. It looks like even if PL didn't have the damage output, Pudge was there with the hook. And Clockwork TP's back to defend. The Prophet trying to get something, anything done, split pushing down towards that bottom lane. Meanwhile, Dire seems to have no interest in actually pushing this tier 2, just gonna lurk up here on the high ground. Oh, Chib.
Classic Chib.
Classic.
He did manage to get the ward off.
Oh, very nice. That's my specialty, is walking into dangerous spots for wards.
Skywrath picks up a kill on Shadow Demon.
Yeah, while
Pudge
this
is
fight is
setting up
going
for
on,
another
throws
hook.
out Ice Path, not able to. So they get the 2 supports there, so could have gone worse. And given the net worth, actually, that trade ends up going better for the Radiant. And they're going to push out mid. Pudge is there. Is he going to try to hook into this? There it goes. Hits on the Prophet again. Just dismember, not there. Doesn't need it. Oh, trapped in the Sprout and ulted.
We see the damage of
And they're able to get the kill.
908 gold for that.
Something else added in for that in 6.78 is all the more gold for ending those sprees. That's a
Chib's
huge
about to die
amount.
to a hook.
Chasing him out. Oh! Manages
juice by
to
Chib.
dodge. And then eats an Illuminate out of spite.
Tickling the poor Pudge.
Gonna fall over soon. Yo, green dudes, something bad
Now
is
with a point in Flesh Heap, so he's going to really start building up that strength. There's point number 2 when we see his health boost up
Dire's
by
top
100
tower
HP.
is under attack.
The kill on Pudge allowed the Skywrath to finish up 4 staff so they can be a little bit more aggressive.
Dire's
that'll help
top
out quite a-
tower is under attack.
Quite a bit, at least in terms of mobility, and if nothing else, getting away if you're caught out. Up top,
Oh, very good battery
Nature's
assault to
Prophet in
stop the
trouble.
TP.
Yeah. Seen that a couple of times. Earlier on, saw Luna unable to eclipse thanks to battery assault interrupting the animation repeatedly. This time the TP not possible. Point booster grabbed by Skywrath, perhaps going into
A vitality booster.
or a vitality booster. Sorry,
So
I was
the,
thinking
Rada
of the
Atos.
I was thinking of the right item. I just didn't say the right word because I was thinking Rod of Atos, perhaps. Though it would be fun to see a Skywrath with a heart.
You might actually be able to pick up the Shadow Demon. Doesn't see him. They walk right past each other. An issue the Radiant have right now is the only safe lane they actually have to farm is the mid lane because of where their wards are, and even then it's not that safe because they have no vision on the bottom side of it.
Yes, got an aggressive ward up out of the Dire though in the enemy jungle, but that's about to expire, so you'll want to re-up that. Other than that, only one other ward on the map.
A little standoff here by Pudge, waiting for the hook on Furion, but Furion happens to walk away.
Chib, is he going to walk into it again? Pudge throws out the hook, misses on the Prophet. Illuminate goes out. Pudge sees it. Dismember
Pudge.
is there. Oh, the stolen
huh?
hook saves him.
I'm
Big
sure
plays
Chib
by
had a heart attack.
High.
He thought that hook was going to kill him, not understanding that Pudge can't hook all the way around the map.
Oh, how did he hit a creep there? That looked like the hook went right through Pudge, but grabs a creep. I hear a hook out of Clockwork, though, goes on Skywrath. Skywrath
Force
force staffs
himself out of the
out.
cogs.
Now silences and Arcane Bolt. The last tower hit, not enough. Survives under 100 HP. Now reaching the tier 3, Pudge looking
Yo,
for
green
another
dudes,
target.
Something bad is happening.
PL still killing off towers.
We actually have a Helm of the Iron Will on Jakiro, so he looks like he's going in for a Veil of Discord, most likely.
The Veil of Discord actually stacks pretty well with PL because the damage, the feedback damage is a magic damage.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Oh,
on
it's
the-
physical damage now. It used to be back in the day. It used to be a magic damage. So they actually stacked.
I'm just proud that I can say that Helm of the Iron will builds into a Veil of Discord, because I think I've only ever built Veil of Discord once.
It's not an item that comes up much.
PL poking in takes some damage and backs off. So far, no attempts at Roche for 24 minutes in. Dire has complete map control right now, so that may be the next target before they try and break tier 3.
Yeah, although they don't really have a very good Roche fighting team, they still have enough levels and, PL power to just muscle through it.
Yeah, Pudge working on an Oghanim Scepter about halfway there.
He's stolen 13 flesh heap, 26 strength right now.
Yeah, sitting at over 2,000 HP.
At only level 13 too.
Tower has been denied.
Luna has herself an Ogre Club, so working on BKB next.
The PL actually stacked his slows there incorrectly.
Disruption goes out on the Rubik, gets low, hook in out of Clockwork, actually gets the Nature's Prophet inside the cogs, but the Skywrathel throwing out brings him down very quickly. But Shadow Demon with the Purge finishes off the Nature's Prophet, and then Shadow Demon with a triple kill gets Luna as well. Now they're trying to at least get the Jakiro in return. Disruption thrown out on Skywrath. Lifted up though. His eyes too big for his stomach. Gets
Pudge is
brought
rotating
down.
down to kill Chib, and Pudge kills Chib.
That one I missed. Just by the steps over at the tier 3. A lot of back and forth there, and any fight that Radiant doesn't outright lose, I have to call at least a small victory. Trying to stem the tide. But gold earned 12,000 the way of Dire. Experience looking near 20,000.
Unfortunately for them, I don't think they've actually taken a fight where PL was participating.
I believe you're right. I don't think we've seen a full team fight as of yet. Luna's still sitting behind the Clockwork and Shadow Demon in net worth, and that's really not going to cut it to try and turn this around.
Furion's getting a late Lothars to try to hope and split push a little better.
It has the Shadow Amulet closing in on the Claymore to finish that up. Clockwork actually has a medallion.
Two miss
Misses
hooks
on,
mid.
yep, misses on the Clockwork hook. The Skywrath Mystic Flare finishes him off. Pudge going to try and walk away, takes a Lucent Beam, but not going to have any near enough damage. Shadow Demon
Shadow
a lot
Demon
of
gonna
trouble.
fall.
Oh, gets
Oh, the
heals
wand
with the
keeps him
wand.
alive.
The Illuminate gets him though. Now Pudge overstays his welcome. Pudge gets brought
But
down.
here comes PL.
And his family,
do
so they
have
use the
dust,
dust.
Mana style to remove it.
Prophet in a lot of trouble trying to get up the steps. He'll get away now, trying to turn this around on the Phantom Lancer. Do they have the damage? Rubik, the only one actually attacking him right now, backs up. Goes out once again, throws out a Spirit Lance of his own.
The fact that they even managed to live there was pretty impressive.
Oh, Rubik in a lot of trouble, gets low, dies actually to the Clockwork Rocket. And I hadn't actually considered Rubik to be able to make his own PL army, but if he steals Doppelwalk or the Spirit Lance, he can kind of do it. Actually, I'm not sure. If you steal Spirit Lance as Rubik, and then throw out a Spirit Lance, can that illusion then propagate?
Is it PL illusion or is it a rubric illusion?
That's the question. I didn't get to click on one. I'll have to click on one if I see it happen again and see
I would
if the
imagine
items
that he
are the
doesn't
PL.
actually get to carry over the passes, because that's usually how it works with rubric.
Yeah, the only
So the Phantom Edge and Juxtapose wouldn't carry over.
And it's off.
it's not a question I've had to ask myself before.
Alright.
Pudge has his finished Aghanim Scepter. Rubik steals Rot. Not the most useful item, but the slow on the Pudge. The Mystic Flare, I couldn't tell if that was
It
hitting
was actually
him.
missing, yeah.
But he's brought down either way. Goodbye, world, as Pudge goes down. And Radiant turning it around just a little bit. They're not going down without a fight. And Veil of Discord is done.
Now this next fight's going to probably be key, because it looks like it's going to be a 5v5, well, or 4v5, but actually including PL, if PL decides to come participate.
Now pushing in on the Tier 2 tower is Radiant, looking for their own. Jakiro gets low. The Arcane Bolt finishes, and the Illuminate finishes him off. Now inside the cogs, there's the Mystic Flare again. Clockwork brought down. That's 3 for 0.
Chip had really good positioning there coming
And there's
around the
4
back.
for 0. They catch the Shadow Demon as well.
PL's taking their racks, or Tier 3 top.
Yeah, at the same time, the split push going out. That's about a quarter left in health. The
If they TP in now,
Fortify.
though, he has no health.
He's
They
very
might pick
low,
off.
even gets silenced. And there's a kill away at Chib.
It looks like Chips decided to stop working on the admin stuff and start playing.
Oh, the hook catches Rubik. Oh, the Lucent Beam tries to hold him off, but not enough. Now we're going to try and catch up to the Luna. Where are the jukes? Where are the jukes?
Left or right?
There's the hook. No juke.
Straightforward.
Caught. Can it fish her off? It does. The Sprout not in time. There's the Arcane Bolt, Mystic Flare on top of Pudge. There's the concussive shot as well, trying to right-click him down. Another Arcane Bolt, getting close to being enough. Very close indeed. 130, 50 HP, 60, 70 HP. That brings him down. Godlike Spree the way of Shao Kahn.
PL's
31 to
wrapping around behind
19.
them. PL's going on poor Chib. Chib mechs.
Yeah, Chib's still alive so far. Pops his ult. Gonna throw out an Illuminate. No, just gonna be content to
pulling
run.
in
There it
someone,
is.
I think.
Doppelwalk trying to catch up. Spirit Lance goes out. That's gonna be very close. One more right click, and down he goes.
Chib actually had a 4-staff on the courier, I
Whoa.
think, flying to him.
And my Dota crashes.
Straight to desktop.
Just gotta
That's weird.
bring it back up. Is everybody else in the game?
There must have been some sort of bug that crashed the observers.
So you got kicked out as well?
Yeah, it just took me straight to desktop.
Okay, yeah, same here. It's going to rejoin in. Just reconnecting now.
Yeah, I'm loading.
We're back in the game. 32 to 19. Everybody up. And looks like we should have a for Luna, 1,300 off of that. DKB, she has her mithril hammer. Take a word for a second.
Looks like the Dire is setting up a push mid. Get a hook on. PL finally showing his strength there. Rubric only managed to steal Rod.
Under attack.
Rubric buying up the Blink Dagger.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen. Radiant's middle barracks are under attack. Okay, that really is GG. Good guys, middle racks is in pieces. Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
The mid-racks is down.
Warriors of the wood.
They were making their comeback for a bit, but turned around again. They're still over 10,000 golden experience. Experience over 15,000, in fact. Behind. A long way for the Radiant to go.
It looked like the Dire actually just decided to 5-man push mid there while we were disconnected.
Yeah, I was able to catch that. Microphone might have been a little low. Dota likes to turn that way down when it starts. H's Prophet sort of fake TPing all over the map just to mess with us.
Decides to run right into Rosh.
Perhaps.
Standing right next to Clockwork, but they don't see each other.
But actually walks in instead of TPing in. And then throws off an ult. I'm not sure what the plan is here, but in towards mid, Luna gets brought down. Skywrath already down, now chasing out the Rubik. And this may just be it with these kills. The Blinding Light pushes them back, not enough. The hook in from Clockwork, and then the hook back out by Watson. Going both directions there. And that's four down, 4 none. And it's called. There's the GG.
Green Dude's tower got owned, son.
They made a game of it, but ended up being too much in the end.
Under attack.
They just didn't have anyone to do the right-click damage required to push down buildings and follow up after a team fight.
Yeah, Luna got sent too far behind early on and never got the chance to catch up. I mean, we see
Tower is under attack.
Phantom Lancer at 22,000 net worth. The Luna was at 5k.
Radiant's top barracks has fallen. Radiant's top barracks
Now we
are
just
under
wait
attack.
for the disconnects so we can get to the final score screen and see.
Skywrath flexes his magic muscles there one last time.
I do not
The buyback out of Nature's Prophet.
great place again.
Just sort of wasting our time here.
PL is probably pushing bottom. He
Yeah, to
doesn't
help
look to be
get
fountain
those-
farming at least.
Mega creeps and finish it up.
Looks like Furion will probably die here.
Middle tower is under attack. Guys,
No
Really
ult
keeps
out of
shadow
the,
blading in and out.
defend here.
Yeah, no ult out of the Shadow Demon though.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen. Radiant's bottom barracks are under attack. Bottom rack's gone. Turns out Radiant's bottom barracks has fallen. Yo, good guys. Middle tower got owned. What you gonna do?
So what do
Get
you
mad
think
or
the
get
story
even?
was of this game?
Radiant's middle tower is under
Well,
attack.
at first it was looking fine very early on, but then the Pudge happened to, like we said, get some good hooks and start ganking, and it kind of just shut down all the squishy heroes on
What you gonna
the Radiant.
do? Mad or get even?
And then they lost the map control. And when there's a Pudge and you have no map control, you just live in this state of fear. And that just opens it up for PL to free farm all he wants.
This is totally harshing my
And then that's all she wrote.
Yep. And we saw him free farm for sure.
Radiant's ancient is the dive dudes one. Now that's it.
But we see
Chip-
the
Chip
403
still
last
manages
hits.
to die even after disconnecting from the game.
The prime target, and that free farm we saw 403 last hits out of the Phantom Lancer ends up 12-1.
Over
Mrs.
10
Watson on
last
the
hits per
punch.
minute. Pretty impressive.
17-5 with 759 gold per minute. And yeah, huge lead built up. Chib and company made a valiant effort to come back, even started winning team fights, and brought it back from 20,000 to 10. But ultimately, that last big push towards mid kind of did them in. Raxed, and then lost another team fight, and that's all she wrote. GG called. It's been Zaran and Remorse, and thanks for watching, and thanks for joining me.